Hello, everyone. Hey, it's Tricia Carr. I'm doing a spontaneous live stream with my Wirecast software. I'm just double checking that you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to assume that you do. Hopefully, I won't get a lot of feedback here. Well, I haven't been doing spontaneous lives lately.
Hello,
There we go.
everyone.
There I am. Looping. I have not been doing spontaneous lives lately. I have been doing my podcasts too, Charmed Life and Enlightened AF. So I just felt like popping up and doing this. So this is my new studio. If you've never seen me here before, this is where I am teaching and in person, and I also do my live stream teachings here. And it is also where I'm going to be moving my podcasts to pretty soon. I'm very excited about it. So I am doing this right now. Let's see who is here with me. Let me make sure that I mute and don't double blast out the. Anyway, well, I wanted to pop up, like I said, spontaneously and just connect with you guys about connecting with spirit guides. Now, if you follow me, if you're catching this somehow by some kind of media platform of mine that you follow, then perhaps you're already like kind of on par with this topic. But if you are just following me out of curiosity, because what the heck is this crazy girl up to? Girl, I don't know if you can call yourself a girl anymore when you're 45, but I just did. What is she talking about with the whole medium thing and animal communication, telepathy, channeling, and all of that kind of thing? Well, at any rate, wherever you are on that, I just wanted to share with you guys the benefit of connecting with spirit guides and actually maybe even ground it a little bit what that means to connect with spirit guides. What that means to connect with spirit guides. Well, one thing that you can look at it as in the metaphysical sense, in the sense of there being there's no expiration of energy in any sense. So energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Well, it cannot be created in that metaphysical sense because it is, because of, we call source energy or God. Hey, you guys. Hi. Hey, Kelsey. Hi, Laura. That it cannot be created because it already has been created. So what it just does is change forms. As far as it concerns spirit guides, if you consider that perspective about energy, that then the personality complex, anything that is true energy, meaning that which is integrative energy, energy that is life force, cannot be disintegrated. And so any composition of love, essentially, cannot be disintegrated. So as it concerns the eternal nature of our soul, and even the eternal nature of who we really are, that is never disintegrated. So as spirit guides are concerned, we do have, in that perspective, we have our past loved ones, we have masters or avatars who have lived on this planet, or perhaps there are also masters and avatars, beings of light that have lived or do live on other planets. And of course, we have beings like angelic beings, or beings that are purely of light, who do not actually create a physical form in the same way that we do. But all of this is connected because, again, energy cannot be separated. Everything is one energy in the sense. Everything from that higher perspective is one energy. Now, you can also think of spirit guides as just projections or expressions of your true essence. And I believe this is true. Now, this is how both of those concepts are true in my understanding, in my experience, I should say. Again, along the frequency of true love, of pure life force energy, when two different kinds of energies, supposedly different kinds of energies, experience one another, or anything that you experience, you share a frequency with. And between those two expressions, there is a third expression that is created. And so when you connect with someone else, whoever that would be, with something else, and that could be an object or an event, or even an imagined or a created experience if you are a creative person, that third energy, that frequency between you and the other, is the experience of one another. And it is just when that is experienced upon love, it is just as much a part of you as anything else that is truly you. And so this is how our spirit guides are also projections of our truth. And so folks that are perhaps not interested in the more mystic point of view, when they experience hypnosis, hypnotherapy, sometimes they go into that subconscious mind, and rather than thinking of it as a spirit guide, like a discarnate or a non-carnate entity, they connect with it in ways such as the wise one or the wisest part of you, knowing how profound and deep the experience of the mind actually is, or the experience of the consciousness. And again, I like to think of it as both and. And so this is how connecting with spirit guides. And the way that I look at it, I love to bring in that mystical point of view. Metaphysical, yes, as a philosophy, and mystical as an art form. And so the art form of mysticism that I love to teach, that I love to experience, is all about actually connecting with, in this aspect, connecting with other benevolent beings in our multidimensional, profound expression of universal energy. And whether you look at it as other beings or whether you look at it as other aspects of yourself, what is sure is that this connection, when the intention is set for it to be wisdom, healing, and connecting you to evolution, that connection, that energy transmission is going to benefit you along the lines of intention. Because when that intention is set, the intention is an energy as well, then it must play out. Because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only change form. So if you set the intention, as we tend to say in our higher consciousness communities and spiritual study, then that energy must play out. Now, see, so far as it concerns setting intention, sometimes people get a little confused because they say, I set an intention and I thought my intuition told me to do it, but then it didn't turn out as I expected it. Well, the enemy of the highest good or evolution is expectations. And so having expectations mean that you have defined how creation should play out. And that's actually quite limiting because we don't truly know how creation will play out. We can only fathom that from a lower mindset, a limited mindset. So if we set the intention, which is an expanded energy, without limits, without expectations, then we actually connect to the entire field, to the entire universe, which co-creates, which collaborates with that energy, that boundless energy that is just fueled by love and life force. And so this is the process that is having a relationship with spirit guides, angelic, past loved ones, masters, whomever that may be, or star beings, ETs, nature spirits, your animal guides, as in the ones who are physically with you, or your spirit animals, meaning ones that could be the kind of totem aspects of animal energy, or your past animals, your past loved animals. All of these different aspects, hi Chris Hoffman, all of these different kinds of aspects are there for us to connect with, to help us to shift our perspective. And that's what it is. If our spirit guides, whomever they are, whomever we connect with, are aspects of our higher self, which they are, even if we see them as separate entities, they are aspects of our higher self as they connect to us in benevolence and in love. And so having that point of view or that perspective shift by having that conversation or that energetic transmission between these beings help us to get clarity, to bring in fresh energy about our evolution process. Think about how you go to your friend, your best friend, to talk about, to hash out a particular issue, or perhaps your mother or your sibling, someone who could give you encouragement or wisdom, or just someone who could be a mirror. I have a friend, and when we get together about once per month for lunch, and he has said to me before that, it's just so helpful to get together and talk because he's just able to get these things out of his head. I don't necessarily give him advice. I just listen. And as there is this open vessel, which is me with my ears listening, then there's something for him to pour this information into, and then he can get some fresh air around it, some fresh perspective around it. This is exactly the same process, only even more expanded and much less limiting. It's as limited as your intention, as your highest good will facilitate. And that's your highest good is pretty much limitless. So this is the process. And so how do you do this? I teach people how to do this. I help guide and connect them to this kind of experiencing to have all on their own each and every day, which I think is how you live a charmed life, how you live a magical life, a life of miracles. I do believe that miracles are our birthright, that miracles are actually our natural state. Well, the way that you do this is by connecting with that higher mind. And that higher mind is accessed through things such as meditation, which is self-hypnosis. Meditation is a practice of it actually putting down the tool of the critical mind and having that release. But then from there, you can go on journeying, and that is connecting with other types of energy that are reflections of your higher self or even of your oversoul complex. And these come in my experience, as a very literal, or at least a metaphysically kind of literal experience of relationships with spirit guides. And that kind of guidance system is available to each and every one of us. Someone asked me a couple of days ago, well, what about, for lack of a better way to say it, really bad people? And he named a particular heinous serial killer, or maybe Hitler or whatever. Do they have spirit guides? And the answer is, yes, they do. And he's like, so then are they just shutting them down? And I said, well, hold on, let me just ask this. Is it possible that these bad guys that you're talking about have any redeemable qualities in them as they live? And what is interesting is that people have put out books and make these comments, just again, unfortunately using Hitler as, I say unfortunate because I know that that's a very sensitive and painful subject for a lot of people. But there are books and comments about people who, I don't know if they're trying to, they're just trying to maybe make sense of it. Perhaps they're trying to, who could judge what they're trying to do. But they put out books about how Hitler was kind to animals and children. And they have these photos of Hitler being very gentle and, laughing, and put out pictures of him as a baby. And so in those moments, I think when people, the reason they put out that stuff is because they're actually exploring the fact that, wow, nothing is entirely black or white. If this person did many heinous things, how we love to just kind of cast them to hell. Very binary, you know what I mean? Very dogmatic. They're completely bad. But nobody truly is completely all bad. And I feel like if they were completely all bad, then they would cease to exist, at least as a physical expression, because the physical body is created by the soul energy, by the energy of the non-physical aspect of you. And so that life force energy of creation is integrative. So there must be, again, just by logic, some aspects that are still redeemable or redeemed. Now, those aspects are the ones that are available for that portal, for that connection to evolution, or connection to what we would call spirit guides, or the wiser parts of yourself, or the holistic parts of yourself. Hi, Rita. Hey, Kelsey. So everyone does have this facility. And I feel I don't know if I don't like to make extreme declarations, but it certainly could be one of the most powerful and empowering things that I have learned in my life. And really, and that is of connecting with the spirit realm, or connecting with my spirit guides in particular, my guidance system. And truly what I want to say is, having learned it, really is what I did was I unlearned all of the conditions that separated me from this, which is so very natural. As a child, I remember having what my parents and my sisters called imaginary friends. And then when I opened up metaphysically and I did develop a meditation practice and went into that experience of journeying, I connected with my spirit guides. And then after building a bit of a relationship, a couple of them told me that they were those imaginary friends I had as a child. So these beings that I had a full relationship with when I was a child, they were now restored into my experience as spirit guides, aspects of my higher self, projections of my evolution. And so as a child, it was very natural for me. And I think that some people who feel like they didn't have spiritual or kind of psychic experiences when they were children, it's possibly just because they don't really remember it, and mainly because it wasn't unnatural. It wasn't really something to remember, besides the fact that we don't remember a lot of things as a child. It was normal and natural. And as we sort of conditioned away from it, it just faded away, like having your diapers changed. So for some people, like I remember it because of sort of the contrast. I remembered it because apparently I talked about it and my family kind of made a big deal out of it by calling it my imaginary friends. And perhaps if you did talk about it, or maybe you didn't, you weren't the kind of child who spoke about the things that you saw very naturally. Perhaps they just didn't pay any mind to it. They're just like, yeah, whatever that is. And it just wasn't a very big deal. Or perhaps some people, they actually get scared away from it. Like, don't talk about that. That's your imagination and you need to stop that. There's all kinds of things. But moreover, I just think that it was very normal. And so that's why we don't remember our very natural connection. I do also remember my connection with animals and nature and the nature spirit realm, like fairies and elemental beings. And I think the reason I remember that was because of having such a difficult childhood where there was a lot of trauma and terror. And so being able to escape from that and be in nature, there was, again, a lot of contrast there. And so that had to become more real, and I almost had to map it out in a way that would support and sustain me. So getting to know your spirit guides, getting into the experience of journeying, meditative or trance journeying daily, and connecting with that guidance system, the guidance of your evolution, of your higher self. It's perfectly natural. And I believe, I experience, beyond belief, I experience in the fullness of my knowing that it is there for all of us. And even if you have this experience, I think it's really great to continue to expand it. I go to meditation classes and different kinds of journeying classes at least a few times a month. There are local classes here in where I live in Los Angeles. And then I also take other people's journeys, such as Steve Nobel. If you may have heard me talk about him before, he has really gorgeous journeys. You can find his YouTube channel. Really great inductions. And so all of this is to say, hey, Jessica. Hi, Berwin. All of this is to say that I want to share with you my Journey with Your Multidimensional Spirit Guides class. Not all of this. All of this is to share it with you. But I do want to share. I do want to share that with you. If you want to take a look, you can click through at the post there, and it has a link. So I want to tell you about it a little bit. This is a really exciting class for me. The way that I have it structured is that it is an enhanced personal practice. So it will be a sort of lecture and education portion where we'll actually go into looking at the different kinds of energies that are in the different kinds of dimensionality. Now, this is the way of looking at it is a sort of organization just so that it helps us as a jumping off point. It isn't meant to be a belief system or something that is rigid or dogmatic. It's a way to help us kind of expand, to have curiosity about what else there is. So as this coming Saturday on the 27th of April, the first class is the higher planes in the cosmos. And so we'll be talking about like the realms of expanded consciousness, of light, of like masters, archangels, and also star beings and the cosmic kinds of guides or benevolent ETs. So this isn't a place to get to just stay and to kind of memorize it. It's actually there to say what else is possible. And my understanding has shifted so many times, so often as I continue to stay open, and even to where I'll find that something that I was experiencing has shifted so much that I even question if it is a part of what is helping me evolve. And then it sort of shifts again, and then that sort of archetypal experience becomes a valid tool again, if that makes sense. So, for example, getting to deepen a relationship with the archangelic realm is so awesome. These energies are there to support us as these pure kinds of expressions of source energy of a particular facet, facet of source energy. And again, they're as a pure, potent force of evolution, and how you connect with them is your own resonance. And the way that you connect with these beings is actually showing you who you really are. Because again, you could only connect with that particular aspect if it were truly in you. I recently wrote a blog post about that. If you want to go check out my website, that link is up there too. I put a new blog article up there about the law of resonance. Really cool. And so that's coming up this Saturday, and it's a full day. We get to be together. I'm offering it. It's online as well as in person in LA. If you live in LA, you can join in person, which is super fun. There's limited spaces there, though. But we have a full day of it. We're going to go from 10:30 in the morning Pacific until, 4 or 4:30? I think 4. Yeah, until 4. So we'll do like some lecture or some education, and then we journey. And I will lead us in trance journeying. Everyone is capable of doing this, and we'll bypass that critical mind. And after having experienced the information, the what if, so far as it concerns the kinds of beings we could experience as we point our intention and our tuning to that higher kind of plane of dimensionality, then we will go in and connect with those higher aspects of ourselves. And then we're going to have lunch as well. We'll have another lecture and another journey, and we're going to have question and answer sessions as well. We'll all be sharing, whomever wants to share what they experienced. And that's a really fun experience. Again, this is something that I do several times per month, a similar kind of format where we get together, we have our journeys, and then we share and we ask questions. I'm going to add to that, though, like I said, some information sessions as well. And then on the 11th of May, we're going to do the inner planes and the earth. So this is where we talk about animals, connecting with animals who are incarnate, spirit animals, the different kinds of totems or aspects of nature that are actually holding a Devic kind of space for us in the spiritual space. Deva means like that kind of master, that kind of guardian of a particular energy. And of course, the nature spirits, the fairies, and also we're going to get into the archangelic expression of our Mother Gaia, our master guide, one of our master guides, Gaia. And same format, we'll be together the full day. This is these journeys and coming together like this is really, really powerful. So that's why I'm doing the format this way. Then on June 1st, it's the manifesting plane in the heart. So the heart and the soul as your own spirit guide. And so that would include like parallel selves, parallel realities, future selves, but it also includes, as I say, the manifesting planes, the way to experience the crystalline grid of the earth, the liquid crystal formations of how to actually bring things into experience through the very vessel of who we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to come away with downloads of MP3 meditation so you can continue your experience, PDFs of the different information that we covered. And each of these workshops stand alone, but they also work really well as a collective series. And if you want to go check it out, the link is there and in the post. And you can also, there's a discount, like 10% discount if you wanted to bundle and do all three. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to share with you and encourage you to continue to expand in your evolution by connecting with your spirit guides, connecting with the aspects of your evolution and the higher versions of yourself. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to see what you guys have to say here now. Yeah, Rita. Hi, Carolyn. Yes, I know. And again, maybe it was you blocked it because it's not important, and we block it because we want to be able to feel safe in this experience. And we're conditioned to believe that feeling safe means, being safe means that we have to conform. And that is a very natural and typical experience. Every single human goes through this. Hi, Shay. You guys, so I haven't been up live in this group like this in a while, but it's super fun. Do you guys like my studio? What else is going on with you? Unlearning, right? Rewilding. Oh, I love that, Kelsey. Yes, we have to become wild again. Become feral. I say that sometimes. I say that I'm feral. What's going on with you guys? Still 5 of you here? Well, now that I have my studio set up, thank you, Rita. I have the studio set up. I have a new kind of streaming system. I am planning to, things have been shifting around a lot in my life. Super exciting. Hi, Shay. You too? Things have been shifting? Oh, you want to come visit? Yeah, Rita, come. So things have been shifting around a lot in my life, and that makes a lot of sense because it is my universal year of 5 for me, and the 5 is the adventure, change, shifting year. So it has been happening big time. Thanks, Kelsey. Kelsey, you could come visit me too. You're not far. So actually, I'll tell you this, Kels and Rita, since you're not too far away, I am planning on having a kind of open house, like an open house. And I'm thinking of doing it on June 1st. And there's rumor that maybe Lauren Olivia is going to come visit too and crash the party. Not crash. There's also rumor that I have been nagging Chris Hoffman to come. I don't know if he can though, but in case he's still here, I just thought I would mention that. So I will definitely let you guys all know about that. I'll blast it all the places that I blast it so that you can come up, and it's beautiful. Yes, well, I'll blast it out, Rita, when we're going to have the party. The whole studio is cool. Like, this is just my room, but there's like a beautiful kitchen and all that kind of stuff, which is where we would probably have it. Yeah, let's do an open house, Kelsey. We'll have to get together all of the folks that, I know we have a lot of people who are in Southern California, but I don't know if you Arizonans want to try to make it over. It's not too far away. Maybe we have some Nevadans. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I was just going to say that things have been shifting around in my life a lot. I have kind of a lot of space that's opened up in so to speak, for me to concentrate even more on all of my work. I'm super excited about it, to be able to, sorry, I banged the mic, to be able to write, to be able to open up my schedule for more one-on-one sessions, and to open up my mentoring program again, to be able to come up and just do live stuff like this. What I'm going to do is have it the way that my show kind of does, where I can go live here or in YouTube, like simultaneously, so you could kind of catch it anywhere, wherever you're hanging out. Thank you for joining me. And if you're watching in the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. Also, if you haven't joined my newsletter yet, I am putting some content out that way regularly, doing a little bit of, a sort of mini blog through the newsletter, and then more extended blog on my actual website. So go find that if you would like. If you haven't already joined, you can find it on my website. Just go to it. There's a pop-up, but if you don't see it there, you can go to About and scroll down to the bottom, and you'll find a way to join the newsletter. Okay, guys, thanks so much for being here with me in this group, or if you're watching this replay somehow else, thank you for being here. I hope that this and any of my work is a benefit to you. It is my intention to help you to connect with your own evolution, with your own light. Because you know what, as I do that, then we all expand, don't we? We all just grow. So this planet is experiencing a beautiful renaissance, a beautiful evolution. We are really, truly ascending in amazing ways. So just keep up your work, keep shining your light. I appreciate you. I love you for doing it. And I'll be around a lot more, I hope. I love you guys. Bye.